Yo, grade 6, module 5, lesson 6. Let's do it. All right, guys, so lesson 6 from module 5 in grade 6 is all about real world area practice. So I'd recommend you pause the video and go do this. Fill this chart out for a window, a wall, a picture, a floor, or anything else in your house that you want to try and find the area of. And so measurement units, could be inches versus feet if you wanted to here. Or if you're using metric, you could use centimeters. And then if it's something big like a wall or a floor, it could be even meters. And then to the nearest half foot or 0.5 of something is really as close as you need to get. So if it's like, 3/16 or something, you don't have to do 3/16. You could just make that back to the nearest whole number that it was. Or if it's, 7/16, that would be closest to a half. So just do it to a half. And then length and width you record, and then you write down your expression that we multiply length times width if it's a rectangle. Now, if it's a triangle, remember we multiply length times width and divide by 2, or we do 1/2 times length times width. And then you write your area in the units you used squared. So this could be a lot of fun. Go for it. All right, let's jump into the problem set. So problem 1 has 4 parts, A, B, C, and D. You can see down there. And it gives us a picture of a wall, and it's 8 feet high. So I'm just going to mark this side 8 feet. 16 feet wide, so I'm going to mark this 16 feet. And the window, mirror, and fireplace are not to be painted or papered. So we're going to have to either find the total and subtract them, or find them and add them up. And then take that away. Well, I guess that'd be the same thing. So the window is 18 inches wide. Notice inches, not feet. That's going to come into play. And 14 feet high. Well, that's just really, really strange. I think that's a typo. I really, really think that's a typo. I think it can't be 18 feet wide because it's only 16 feet wide as a deal. I think this is going to be 18 inches. Yeah, maybe it's not a typo. 18 inches here. And then 14 feet across, perhaps. I'm going to go with that. And 18 inches, I'm going to go ahead and convert now into feet and inches. That's going to be 12 inches per foot. So it's going to be 1 foot, and then you have 6 left over. So it's 1.5 feet. 18 inches is 1.5 feet. All right. Fireplace is 5 feet wide. All right, by 3 feet high. So I'm going to put a 3 here, and I'm going to put a 5 here. And that's feet. Which, again, you saw what I used up there, just the single line. You could do that instead of the word feet, the letters FT. While the mirror above the fireplace is 4 feet wide and 2 feet. So 2 feet and 4 feet. All right, and that's pretty much everything we need. So we need to find how much square feet of wallpaper are needed to cover the wall. Well, we're just going to have to find our total, 8 by 16, and then subtract the window, mirror, and fireplace. And that's all that is. So let's do that. All right, so I went ahead and found the area of the window at 14 times 1.5, which is 21, 4 times 2 for the mirror to get 8, and 5 times 3 for the fireplace to get 15 feet squared. I added those up. Window, mirror, fireplace together is 44 feet, and I subtract that from the 16 times 8, which is the total of the wall. And that's going to give me my final area of what is wallpapered. And so when we do our subtraction here, we end up with 12 minus 4 is 8, 84 square feet to be wallpapered. And so in B, on the second one, I'm going to write that down here and zoom in so we can work on this. So the wall that is to be covered is 84 feet squared. Now let's jump into B. So the first thing I noticed, again, is they gave me feet for one measurement and inches in the other. And you can't do your multiplication with different units. You need the same units, or it won't be units squared. It would be inches, feet, and that doesn't exist. So we're going to do 1.5 feet or 1.5 feet. That's what 18 inches is. 18 divided by 12 is 1.5. And so this is 1.5 feet and not inches, so I need to correct that real quick. Solvable problem. And so that's feet. And now I have like units. And so it's going to be to find the area of the one roll of wallpaper, which is what the first section of question B is. It's going to be 33 times 1.5. So you'd get 49.5 feet, because 33 plus half of 33, which is 16.5, gives you 49.5. And so now, if we have to cover 84 feet, how many rolls are we going to need? Yes, we will need 2, because 2 at 49, let's just take out the half, right? That's going to be 98, which will cover that. So we need 2 rolls. All right, let's check out C. So for C, we're going to assume that there's just no tax. $11.99 a roll. That's basically $12 a roll, which we need 2 of them. So that's $24 minus 2 cents, because at 99 is 1 less twice. And so we're going to do that. The total cost is going to be for the 2 rolls. I'm just going to write it right here. Is going to be $23.98. And then D is kind of pointless. I mean, I guess it's good to look at it. But if 200 square feet and you need 2 coats, well, 84 and 84 is less than 200. So we can do the 2 coats with 1 gallon. And so it's just going to cost us the $22.99, because we only need to buy that 1 gallon of paint, and we should be able to get 2 coats out of it on that wall. Okay, question 2 is kind of a 3-step process. First, find the area of the classroom, right, which is going to be 600 feet squared, because 30 times 20 is 600, right? And then we need to transfer the 24 inches and 36 inches into feet. 36 inches is 3 feet, right, because it's 12, and 24 is 2 feet. So you need to make sure to get to like units, since we're dealing feet. And so that means each of those are 6 feet squared. Right? And so when you multiply those, you're going to get 6 square feet. So how many 6s go into 600? 100. So we need 100 tiles. And those were your 3 steps to get number 2. Okay, so for number 3, same thing. We need to transfer 18 inches, right, into 1.5 feet on each side. So 1.5 times 1.5, right, 3 halves times 3 halves is going to be 9/4, which is going to be 2 1/4 square feet. So how many 2 1/4s go into 600? So we're going to do 600, and I'm going to use decimals here. I'm going to do 600 divided by 2.25. Which means I'm going to move this over twice. I'm going to add 2 zeros there. So it's 225 into 60,000. And I'll get my answer. I'm going to speed up for this. Okay, so as I go through that, I get 60,000 divided by 225. I get 266. And then if I keep my decimal going, it's going to keep going with 0.66666666, which I know is 2/3. So it's 266 and 2/3. But obviously, I don't want to do 2/3 of a square, so I'm going to round that up to 267. So I should need 267 tiles if they were each 2 1/4 square feet. It looks like I forgot that square off there too. All right, there you go. Let's look at the next page. So keep going. Make sure to try these before checking, but I'm just going to go over the answers really quickly for the sake of time. Here we go. For number 4, we've got a 60 square meter flower bed, 6 times 10. And then the 2 meters on either side adds 4 to each measurement. So 6 plus 4 is 10, so that makes this 10 meters. 10 plus 4 is 14, that makes this 14 meters. So the total of like the whole picture is 140 meters, but we have to subtract out the flower bed because that is not the path, which is 60, and that leaves us 80 meters squared. So the first way I'll do this is to just find the missing side. So I know this is 2 meters, and I know this is 6 because you've got 8 total minus the 1 and the 1, which is 2. And so you could just say that we need 12 meters squared, right? That's the quickest, easiest way I can find it. The other method, right, if you really wanted to work this out, is to find the total area of a section, maybe the whole thing, or maybe just this part, right? And then subtract out the pieces you don't need. But what's the point of that when you just can find the measurements of this rectangle and multiply them? And so if you want to dive into that, feel free. Equivalent expressions that can be used. You can do the 2 times 6, but you could also, do 7 times 2 minus the 1 times 2, and that would leave you the 6 times 2. You could do the whole thing. Bottom line is being able to view it from different perspectives and use different strategies to get it is the goal here. As long as you can get to that correct answer and you've understood so far how to subtract out what you don't need to find what you do need, I think you're good to go. Okay, so the last one can seem a little confusing, but it's basically what is the area of the shaded region. Now the 3.5 is not for the shaded. The 3.5 is for length times width of the total. But obviously we're going to have to subtract out this little part here to find just the shaded and not that. So the first step was to multiply 3/4 and 3/8, and you get 9/32, which I believe is in simplest form. And so now we're going to take away the 9/32 from 3.5. So I just transferred 3.5 into 30 as well. And so that's times 16. 2 times 16 is 32, and 1 times 16 is 16. So then when we subtract, we end up with 3 and 7 30 halves, 32s, whatever, feet squared. And so my formula was the total minus the non-shaded will give me the formula of just the shaded, which they said to use the letter A for. Well, there you have it. Let me know if you have any questions by messaging me on Schoology or by commenting on the video. I will talk to you later. I hope you have a great day. Bye.